to the year 2026. Kai Cenat is learning how to read. A graduating high school class doesn't know how to.
Read the end this for me.
She wore a suit, clothes that were... Who's this for? Extraordinary, but somewhat Gertrude?
Now explain what that means.
I don't know. I'm not.
And Japan is being destroyed as we speak by non-native citizens of Japan who call themselves locals despite only knowing konnichiwa and arigato. Why is this happening? Because words don't have meaning anymore. No one knows what turf means. Yes, I said it with a hearty R.
Wise guy, huh?
Or white.
Wise guy, huh?
But one word that no one understands and is constantly under attack is the word woman. What is a woman? This simple question is what got J.K. Rowling labeled as a tranny genocider, and a question that Matt Walsh made a documentary about in 2022. Now, I'm not a retard. Woman means adult human female, which means men cannot be women and women cannot be men. This statement would get me labeled as a TERF and sent death and rape threats by men with fetishes. Funny how it's much more aggressive and politicized when you're just a woman acknowledging reality and telling Troons no.
I hate Vietnam.
Lily, honey, we don't hate.
I hate Vietnam.
Well, it's 2026, and Matt Walsh, we need a sequel to your documentary. Maybe call it What Are Women? The words woman, women, female, girl, girls, girlhood, womanhood, mother, and motherhood came under attack during third wave feminism, where millennial feminists were creating retarded words like manspreading and mansplaining to demean men while pretending not to know what words that describe women and girls mean. Which you would think that a sex that does the majority of the talking, they would know what a woman is. But I digress. There are 3 instances that are happening while we speak that are an attack on women. The first is the Sal Grover versus Roxanne Tickle case. The second is Dr. Sydney Watson's Vagina Haver menstrual products. And the third is an Amazon ad I've been seeing on YouTube for a period podcast by Midel, where us vagina havers are called menstruators, because the only thing women do and are valid for is menstruating. And I thought the manosphere hated women. Am I still a menstruator if I'm not on my period, or do I get demoted to vagina haver? There are so many dystopian, inhumane words to describe women like menstruator, vagina haver, birthing person, wimix, that it would be more respectable to call women anti-men. Or is that term transphobic? It's to the point where being called a B word, a C word, or any other female-based insult is more validating because at least then my sex is being acknowledged. In the Sal Grover, an Australian screenwriter, versus Roxanne Tickle, an ugly troon, is a devastating court case for women and women's rights. Sal Grover created an app called Giggle for Girls, a social networking app meant for women to use to connect to other women for various needs, and the app was a safe space for women to protect them against misogyny and sexual violence. But ironically, and unfortunately, the app got shut down due to misogyny and sexual violence. Rox, I'm a Man Testicles didn't like the fact he was prohibited from using the app because using the women's bathroom to creep on women wasn't enough for him. So he decided to take Grover to court over discrimination, and after a 2-year court case, the Federal Court Case of Australia ruled in Tickle's favor. Newsflash, if it takes a 2-year-old court case and a panel full of judges to tell you you're a woman, you're definitely not a woman. Now, I don't know what it is with the country of Australia and women, because Australia's track record with women has always been spotty. Yes, that was a period joke. In 2005, the Australian government ruled to ban women with small breasts from being in mature projects because, according to Australia, small-breasted, grown women encourage pedophilia. According to the National Institute of Health, 20 to 25% of women have small breasts. So 1/4 of women encourage pedophilia. And if you're a man who's with a small-breasted woman, you are a pedophile. As a 5'8", 129-pound woman, I'm a small-breasted woman. Yes, I buy my bras from the preteen section. No, I'm not a child. Dr. Sydney Watson, another Australian woman, had her womanhood recently attacked. Not to the same nuclear devastating level as Sal Grover and her Giggle for Girls app, but it's a slippery slope. You give a troon an inch, and they take women's rights. Dr. Sydney Watson recently posted and deleted a picture of a menstrual product with the words, "Made by vagina havers for vagina havers." It reminds me when the brand Always decided to remove the Venus symbol from their packaging to be more inclusive to non-binary and transgender customers. Which is stupid, because according to the Mayo Clinic Masculinizing Therapy Guide, trans women stop getting a period when they're on HRT after 2 to 6 months. So this gigantic company made a massive change to their product that alienates their only clientele, women, for a small subsection of women that will only get 2 to 6 periods. For non-binary females, in an article titled Diversity of Non-Binary Use, published by the Trevor Project in 2021, they reported that only 28% of the females identified as non-binary on their national LGBTQ youth mental health survey. In the year 2026, the non-binary trend is dying, and rightfully so. Because it was a trend that every sensible person called out. Let's be honest. Women who identified as non-binary did it because they felt discomfort with their femininity, and men who identify as non-binary end up tuning out because they're porn obsessed.
I don't get. If being trans was a choice, why on earth would someone choose to be a woman in a patriarchal world?
Because it's a fucking fetish, Janet! Because it gets their dick hard! That's what cross-dressing has always been about for these men. They're not some poor, vulnerable people oppressed because they're women born into men's bodies. They're men with fetishes. They talk constantly about their euphoria boners. I get aroused when I have gender euphoria. Is that weird? Today I got a boner in the women's restroom. You can go to my pinned post and watch 2.5 hours of this shit. You can go to any of their forums and listen to the things that they say to each other when they think that dumbasses like you aren't listening.
Oh, I just can't understand why a man would pretend to be a woman.
Because he's a porn-addicted degenerate, Janet. This is not a civil rights movement. This is a perverts' rights movement. At best, these are men who see women as a fetish costume and not as human beings. And at worst, they're men who get off on our discomfort when they invade our spaces, watch us undress, threatening to rape lesbians if they won't suck their girl dicks. You are crusading for perverts. I need to go get a coffee or something.
Which is why in 2026, it makes no sense why I'm seeing an ad, a new ad, from Midel, sponsored by Amazon, for a period podcast where women are called menstruators. This isn't the first time I've seen a strange ad from Amazon. I've seen an Amazon ad where a Japanese woman living in Japan learns how to make a Japanese dish from a black man in an American Netflix film. I believe what has caused a certain part of society to play dumb and not know what words mean that has led to all the chaos and destruction we see today is when that same certain part of society started questioning what is a woman. In an article titled Why Countries That Fail Women Fail, published by Economist, the gist of the article is, if a society/country wants to thrive and succeed, women can't be treated like second-class citizens. And by questioning what a woman is, we are seeing the unraveling of society, because if we don't know what one half of the sex is, then how are we supposed to know what anything else is? We are not caveman anymore. Words matter. Words have meaning. A woman is an adult human female. Stop pretending not to know what a woman is, so we can stop the destruction of society. Thank you.